This is exactly how we scaled a DSC brand on Amazon from 220,000 per month to 2.4 million per month in only 6 months, without any unnecessary discounts or without launching any new products. So many people think that this is impossible to do on Amazon. I'm here to tell you right now that one, it's not. I'm going to break down the exact tactics that we used to scale this brand. So let's get into it. First, where were they at kind of before we started, right? So they were doing $220,000 per month in revenue on Amazon. Now, at the time, they had a good brand off of Amazon and they were spending $5,000 per month on Amazon ads. They were running their Amazon in-house and they were struggling to find the time to dedicate exactly to Amazon. No, but they came to me and they decided they wanted to use Amazon as a marketing channel specifically to acquire new customers. They were not seeing good return on ad spend from Facebook or other platforms. So they wanted to use Amazon ads to go out and reach new customers on Amazon. So that's what we did. Now, in the 6 month period after signing us, we were able to grow ad spend from $5,000 per month to $196,000 per month while maintaining a return on ad spend in the 5 to 6x range the entire time. Ad revenue grew from 10,000 per month to 1.2 million per month, and overall revenue more than 10x from 220,000 per month to an all-time high of 2.4 million per month. So that's 8 figures a year just from Amazon. All the while, brand owners were able to focus on higher return on investment tasks like their Shopify retail and wholesale channels, knowing that their Amazon was under control. So a 10x in only 6 months. How exactly did we do that? Well, we use a framework called the 3 pillars of scaling. So the first one is keyword research, the second one is campaign launch, and then the third one is how to actually scale working campaigns. So I'm going to break down exactly what we did for each of these frameworks. Keyword research and campaign launch form the foundation, and then how to scale up is actually fairly tactical, something that you can incorporate right now into your Amazon ad strategy. So let's get to the step by step. Phase 1, keyword research. Now, if you've been around the Amazon space, you know traditional keyword research relies on finding 5 to 10 competitors, identifying common keywords, and just targeting those. Now, this is good, but it falls apart, especially if you're a direct-to-consumer brand with a semi-unique product. So here's exactly how we perform keyword research. So obviously, yeah, we'll use Helium 10, we'll use competitor keywords, but that's just not good enough, especially if you're trying to expand your revenue on Amazon. You need to find every possible keyword that anybody who's looking for your product could use to find you. Now, some stuff that goes into it, and this is some stuff I haven't seen really talked about anywhere else, your marketing angles in your Facebook ads. So if you do a pain point and then like a problem solution, people are searching Amazon for those problems and for those solutions, and those should be incorporated into your Amazon keyword research. User interviews, if you have a post-purchase survey on Shopify. If you use any sort of Google ads, we've seen a lot of overlap with Google ads and Amazon ads. They're both demand capture platforms. Amazon suggested terms, search query performance, and myriad of other resources to find keyword research. Now, search query performance deserves its own special category. This is probably one of the most valuable reports that Amazon has released in recent years, and it is extremely important to understand where you're currently showing up and then where customers are preferring to choose your product versus other products. So that's one way we use search query performance. We also use external tools, Helium 10, Jungle Scout, and then we also use offsite data. So we will go look through all of the reviews, identify the common phrases, identify the core problem solutions that your product solves, and then we'll use those to build a keyword list. Now, what's important is at the end of this process, you should have a list of at least 500 to 1,000 plus keywords people will use to search your product for on Amazon. You need to prioritize these keywords by searcher intent, potential conversion rate, and search volume. Typically, we rank these keywords on a scale of like 1 to 10. And we take into account all of these factors to determine which are the most important for our product in particular. Where do we think we can rank? And then what are some other keywords that we just use to drive profitable sales? But I'm about to get into that. So we have the keyword research done. Now we need to get into the launching campaigns phrase. So you have a list of 500 to 1,000 keywords, probably in a Google Sheet somewhere, and you want to scale up ad spend on Amazon, find potential new customers. This is exactly how you do it. First, the cardinal rule: do not launch 500 new keywords or 50 new campaigns at the same time. You will see your ad spend rise very quickly and your return on ad spend will drop. Now, in terms of campaign structure, you want to have one campaign, one ad group, one match type. Typically, what this looks like: you will have a sponsored product campaign, you will have one ad group, you'll have the exact match type. And then for keywords, generally we stick to 10 to 20 keywords in the same campaign. Obviously, this depends on search volume. Any keywords with greater than 5,000 to 10,000 search volume, those are typically single keyword campaigns. Any keywords with under 1,000 of monthly search volume, we can kind of group them together, because how Amazon allocates budgets is by search volume. And so we just got to prioritize high search volume in their own campaign. Now, in terms of how we should launch these, every keyword should be launched as exact match first. And then because these are new keywords, we want to use the suggested bid that Amazon recommends. Now, obviously, you got to use your best judgment here. If the suggested bid is $5 to $10 and you're like, I will never be profitable at that price, go towards the lower end of that range, set like a break-even bid first. You can always inch it up or inch it down. Amazon is a second price auction, so even if you bid $10, you will only pay $10 if somebody else is paying $10. So a lot of times we set bids pretty high, and then we see that the actual cost per click, if we set our bid at $5, the actual cost per click is maybe $3.50. Now, for this brand, we launched 25 to 50 new keywords every week, and then at the end of every week, we would raise bids on any keyword that got less than 50 impressions. Every campaign had an initial $25 per day budget. And you might be thinking at this point, hey, David, like that sounds really low. I mean, you started out spending $5,000 a month and you got them up to $200,000 a month while maintaining a 5 to 6x return on ad spend. Well, let's get into how we scaled these. $25 a day budgets initially, but they don't stay $25 a day for very long. So here's kind of our framework for how to scale ad spend on Amazon. 1, horizontal scaling. 2, vertical scaling. 3, $1 million months. Obviously, what every brand on Amazon wants to hit. It's definitely possible if you scale correctly. Let's first talk about horizontal scaling. And if you don't understand the previous parts of this video, please go back and watch them, because each one of these parts of this video build on each other. So if you need to watch it a couple times just to understand the keyword research, the campaign structure, then go into scaling. If you skipped right here, I don't blame you. This is the funnest part of the video, but the past is the foundation and is desperately necessary to understand this part. So let's talk about horizontal scaling. Now, on Amazon, you can target a keyword using 3 different match types and use 3 different ad units. Let's say you were seeing good results targeting the keyword family games. You can target that same keyword, family games, in sponsored products, sponsored brands, and sponsored brand videos. And then you can use 3 different match types. So you have broad match, you have phrase match, you have exact match. Now, if you remember your math class back in 3rd, 4th grade, 3 times 3 is 9. So you can target this exact same keyword 9 separate ways. Now, let's think about that for a second. So let's say we're targeting family games in sponsored product exact match. We're getting a 5x return on ad spend. Every dollar we spend is returning $5 in sales. Okay, so then our next step would be how can we target this keyword in different ways? That's where this flowchart comes in. So let's take the keyword family games. Is return on ad spend greater than 4? Yes. Launch more sponsored product campaigns in different match types. You're going to launch them in a broad match, and a phrase match. And then you can also launch sponsored brands, exact match. You can launch a sponsored brand video, exact match. And then we're going to continually keep expanding these campaigns based on what we see. Now, we're going to stagger the launch of these campaigns because obviously, as I said earlier, we're not going to launch 50 new campaigns at once. We're going to be slow, we're going to be methodical, but we will scale up ad spend. So this is horizontal scaling. And then this is really important to understand because if you have one good keyword, you can target 9 separate ways. You can create 9 separate campaigns all on that same keyword, and you're going to see different performance from each of these campaigns. So whenever you're confused, come back to this. And then obviously in the description of this video, you can download this entire document so you can refer back to it later. Now let's talk about vertical scaling. So vertical scaling is where it gets kind of fun. So you have the keyword research, you have your campaign structure, you have your horizontal scaling. Let's talk about how you go from spending $5,000 a month to spending $200,000 per month. So this is quite simple in comparison to horizontal scaling. There's a couple different ways. So one is bid optimization. Quite simply, if your cost per click is close to your bid, just increase your bid to increase spending on that keyword. Let's say you're bidding $4, your cost per click is $3.99 or $4 exactly. You're going to increase your bid from $4 to $4.50. And then you go from getting 10 clicks a day to gaining 20 clicks a day. Once you do that, then you're going to go through budget rules. So a big part in scaling ad spend is performance-based budget rules. So to add these, you're going to go to campaign, budget rules, add budget rule. This name should be descriptive. I typically like saying performance and then our target return on ad spend. So this is typically what it looks like. And what this does, it will automatically scale your budgets based on your intraday return on ad spend. So let's say November 12th, you are getting a return on ad spend of like 6x. Like all of the customers coming to Amazon are converting on your keywords. You want to spend more. But you're away from your computer. You're not really sure what's going on. You can implement this rule to automatically increase budgets depending on that performance. Now, these are really important, especially when there's like a sudden surge in traffic. So let's say you have like a TikTok video go viral and you don't really know about it. Like you see your Shopify sales popping off, but you don't think to check Amazon. This is when this will come into play a lot because this will keep your ads spending if they're performing well. So in November and December for this brand, we had multiple campaigns spending $1,000 a day. And we use these rules to keep them spending on the best performing days. Now, if you recall, we started all campaigns at like a $25 per day budget. So you can be fairly aggressive in scaling up these vertical scaling campaigns, using these rules, using these budgets, and kind of just going from there. Now, let's talk about what it takes to hit $1 million months. You have your campaign, you have your keyword research, you have your campaign structure, you have your horizontal scaling, you have your vertical scaling. How do you actually maintain performance at this level? Now, when you're spending $200,000 per month on Amazon, every single hour matters. Now, so what we do is we continuously optimize and improve throughout the day and the week. And some of them we run continuously. Some of them we run like every 2 days, just depending on the data attribution. But here's kind of what we do. First, obviously, bid optimization. We have automated rules set in place based on conversion rate, click-through rate, even organic rank sometimes to determine we're not cannibalizing organic rank. Second, placement modifiers. Third, brand spending versus brand purchase share. This is very important, especially as you start spending $10, $20, $30, $40,000 per month on Amazon. A simple change here is just monitoring brand purchase share versus brand spending and just making very sure that you're actually generating incremental sales. That's something I don't see a lot of people talk about, but one change here can easily add pretty much like 10% to your net profit. So it's pretty important. Analyzing search query performance opportunities, organic ranking versus PPC spending, different sponsor brand video creatives, and much more. And Really, what it comes down to is when you're trying to quickly scale, every micro optimization matters. And as Amazon gets tougher and tougher and the competition gets better, this is the level of detail that you need guiding your presence on Amazon. So, as I said, if you're looking to expand to Amazon or looking to optimize your Amazon presence, you can get in touch with our team today. We only work with brands where we can make a big impact quickly. But what we do is we come in and we help scale. So you can look at this document, see exactly how we scaled up this brand, and see if it's a good fit for you.